literatures, excavating places in Vrindavan, etc. So we'll be recollecting those things. So these are very high class people. They're not ordinary people. Very well learned, highly intelligent, much sought after by everybody. But they became ordinary, very simple Goswamis. And you will see this description in this. So these are very amazing things. One extreme to the other extreme. And why? By the influence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His philosophy, his teachings, his life. So the influence Lord Chaitanya had on the mass of the people and the class of the people, even animals in the forest. He had influence on anybody and anything because he was so filled with love. And therefore, Lord Chaitanya's life and teachings are so wonderful. And who will not fall in love with Lord Chaitanya? So educated people, aristocratic people like Rupa and Sanatan, who were very intelligent, they completely became enamored by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and totally surrendered to him and carried out his orders. So it's an amazing, instance and event. So these Goswamis are very, very important roles they play in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya at a particular time in history. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in 1486, the late 15th century. And at that time in India, the Muslims were ruling, the Mughals, in fact the Persians were ruling. From different, not the Mughal kingdoms before that, the Persians and the Lodi dynasty and all of that. And he disappeared from this world in 48 years. That is, if we calculate 1486 and 48 years, in 1534, I think, he left. He stopped his pastimes and left in 1534. In 8 years before that, that is in 1526, Babur invaded India and conquered and became the biggest ruler. Muslim king Babur. He started the Mughal kingdom. So in 1526, Babur started ruling. The Mughals started. And in another 8 years, Lord Chaitanya passed away. This is the time scale. In 1534. Before he left, in 1513, 1514, he initiated Rupa and Sanatan in a place called Ramkeli in West Bengal. And they were both working for Nawab Hussain Shah, one of the biggest kings at that time in Bengal. So therefore, around that time was a Mughal rule, and Nawab Hussain Shah in Bengal was the ruler. And Nawab Hussain Shah, under him, they were working, and then they were in an ugly situation in their life. They were so great, and they were somewhere under the grips of the Muslim king. And in this way, Lord Chaitanya met them. We will discuss in detail some of those things. As far as dates are concerned, in 1514, Lord Chaitanya met with them. And Rupa and Sanatan were born in 1488, 1489, around that time. Lord Chaitanya 1486, and Sanatan Goswami 1488. Sanatan Goswami 1488 and Rupa Goswami in 1489. Very close to Lord Chaitanya's birth. It's all arrangement of the Lord. And then they come to meet each other in 1513, 1514. And Sanatan Goswami, he lived for 75 years. So we can say 1488 to 75 years. That's about how much? Somewhere in 1564 or something, he passed away. Lord Chaitanya left in 1534. So these are some dates, like a timeline. You can just see where they are placed. And you can imagine in 1510 or 11, he came and rediscovered Vrindavan. So this is the spacing of it, the time of the Goswamis. especially Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. It's very interesting history because it very nicely merges with the Mughal rule. And the Mughals were at that time on a rampage. They're destroying temples and killing the Hindus and levying taxes, and it was a difficult time for the Hindus. Ruled by a foreign invading clan, and no freedom inside your own place, in your own country. You don't have voice. So at this time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared, and he was negotiating things with all of his devotees. And he paid great importance to the Goswamis, invested in them. And they were not ordinary people also. All of them were actually from Krishna Leela, coming from Vrindavan. Like Rupa Goswami was Rupa Manjari, one of the associates, gopis, assistants of the gopis. They had all come to be with Krishna and take part in his pastime. This amazing pastime he is going to perform. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. We know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was none other than the combination of Radha and Krishna. Krishna taking the mood of Radharani is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is a very deep subject matter. And all of the associates of Krishna have come together. And they are coming in different roles at different times in different places. Haridas Thakur was Brahma, himself appearing. So they're all, it's a confluence of all of them coming together to perform this pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Goswamis, they played a very, very important role. If you want to know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you want to know Radha and Krishna, if you want to know the deep understanding of the Prema Bhakti, then you have to go through the Goswamis only. If you want to understand Vrindavan and Vraja Bhakti, you have to go through the Goswamis only. For any of these understanding, rich understanding in the philosophy of the Vedas, you have to go through the Goswamis. And especially if you want to understand Vraja, Vrindavana Vasis, their prema for Krishna, you have to go through the understanding of the Goswamis, what they have given, how they have led the way to understanding. Otherwise you can never understand. As mentioned by Prabhupada in his book Nectar of Instruction. If you want to understand Vrindavana, pastimes of Krishna, you have to go through the Goswamis. So they play a very, very important role. So this song which we are going to sing is a glorification of them and their qualities. So first I shall lead and then you can repeat after me. Can you give my kartals please? First I will lead and then you can repeat. I will read it once and sing it once. Just like that in prose. You can also follow the text. It's very nice. Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Paro Prema Mritangbo Nidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priyo Priyakaro Nirmatsaro Pujitau Shri Chaitanya Kripa Baro Bhuvi Bhuvau Bharavahantarakau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, namely Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Shri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are always engaged in chanting the holy name of Krishna and dancing. They are just like the ocean of love of Godhead, and they are popular both with the gentle and with the ruffians, because they are not envious of anyone. Whatever they do, they are all pleasing to everyone, and they are fully blessed by Lord Chaitanya. Thus they are engaged in missionary activities meant to deliver all the conditioned souls in the material universe. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunau Saddharma Samsthapakau Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyau Sharanyakarau Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nande Namattalikau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Shri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus they are honored all over the three worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of, because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Radha and Krishna. Shri Gauranga Gunanuvarnana Vidhau Shraddha Samhridi Anvitau Papotapanikrinatanu Tanubritam Govinda Ganamritai Anandambudivardhanaika Nipunau Kaivalya Nistarakau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Shri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very much enriched in understanding of Lord Chaitanya and who are thus expert in narrating his transcendental qualities. They can purify all conditioned souls from the reactions of their sinful activities by pouring upon them transcendental songs about Govinda. As such, they are very expert in increasing the limits of the ocean of transcendental bliss, and they are the servitors and the saviors of the living entities from the devouring mouth of liberation. Tyaktva turnamasesha mandalapatim Shrenim sada tuchchavat Bhutvadina ganeshakau karunaya Gopina kantashitau Gopi bhavarasamritabdilahari Kallola magnau muhur Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Shri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who kicked off all association of aristocracy as insignificant. In order to deliver the poor conditioned souls, they accepted loincloths, treating themselves as mendicants, but they are always merged in the ecstatic ocean of the gopis' love for Krishna and bathe always and repeatedly in the waves of that ocean. Kujat kokila hamsa sarasa gana kirne mayura kule Nana ratna nibhadha mula vitapa Shri yukta vrindavane Radha Krishna Maharnisham Prabhajatau Jivartadahu Yaumudha Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Shri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who were always engaged in worshipping Radha Krishna in the transcendental land of Vrindavana, where there are beautiful trees full of fruits and flowers, which have under their roots all valuable jewels. The Goswamis are perfectly competent to bestow upon the living entities the greatest boon of the goal of life. Sankhya purvaka nama gana natabhi kala vasani krito nidrahara vihara kadi vijito